In this particular video, I'm going to discuss changing to a new financial year. There are a couple of key things that you need to be aware of. With Easy As, you have the opportunity of viewing all previous financial years that you've entered into the system at any time. So what happens is, as you go into a new financial year, for the first month or two, you might want to actually jump back to the previous financial year to see information that you've previously entered in, whilst you are currently entering in new information to the new financial year. So you can easily jump backwards and forwards, and you achieve that by pressing Setup and by clicking Select New Financial Year. It's also what you click to go back to a previous financial year. Another way to achieve that is by simply double clicking this icon here, or this line. If I double click this word financial year, this box appears. Now this box here is the same box that appears if I jump into Setup and I click Select. It's exactly the same box. So I always do it from here because it's just so much quicker and easier. Previously, I've already set up my financial year for 2012 because I did that when I was messing around with another video earlier. So what's going to happen is, if you are switching between financial years that you've already set up, if I click 2012 now, it's just going to do that instantly. I'm going to click Select. It's now changed it. See that? It went to 2012. And it's brought up the business profiles. It says, well, we're now into 2012. Which business are we looking at? Even if you only have one business, this will still come up. You click Select or you click on the line. Same thing. I click on the line. It is now into this business for 2012. So now at any time I can go ahead now and say I'm in 2012, and I can now enter expenses or any information as per normal. No, I've selected it. See, it's coming up with this year's calendar because I'm getting ahead of myself. It isn't 2012, it's actually 2011, and it's the computer's using the default calendar. But the Easy As software knows that the financial year we're supposed to be entering is 2012, not 2011. So it's come up and told me to rack off. So I'm just going to change that to 2012. So I've told it, yeah, I'm in 2012. And I'm just going to enter amount. I just want to show you something. So now that's entered in 2012. Now, if I switch back to 2011, all I'm doing is clicking that, clicking this, clicking Select. I'm now back to 2011, and we now see all the previous information from 2011. But I now want to jump back to 2012. I click this, click 2012. No, click 12, click Select. I'm now back to 2012. Click the business, and there's the information I've been in 2012. So see how quick it is to jump backwards and forwards between financial years? Right, now I want to show you something. If you are creating a new financial year from scratch, one that you haven't previously created before, it's going to pop up the very first time you switch to the new financial year, and it's going to pop up asking you a question. It's going to ask you if you want to keep the categories you've previously created. What it's talking about as a primary is these expense categories. Let's say I'm at the end of year 2012 and I've been editing my expense categories, and I've created a really nice set of categories, and it's exactly what I want. When the system sets up a new financial year, by default, Easy As will recreate the new financial year with the default categories. And you're going to think, well, hang on, I deleted half of them and I created some of my own. I don't want the default categories. I want the ones I've created previously. Once upon a time, with the previous program, you actually had to recreate your categories every year. Seemed a bit of a hassle, but to do that, it allowed you the ability to jump back to the previous financial year. So it meant that you spent 10 minutes at the beginning of the financial year or half an hour recreating your categories again, but you also then had the luxury of jumping backwards and forwards. With this new program, they've now allowed the system will create these for you if you tell it to. So I'm going to prove that to you. I'm just going to jump into the categories, and I'm going to delete some of these categories out of here so as that you can see. Actually, I didn't have to do that, did I? I can do the categories from the expense screen. I jump into the expense categories, I'm going to delete half of these just to prove to you that I can do that. These numbers are coming up because it remembers everything. So I'm just going to show you that. An entry already exists. So that entry I just did already existed. So if you try to delete an entry where something already exists, a category, it won't allow you to do that. So I'm just deleting half of these so I can show you that. So these are all default categories that the system's set up. And I'm going to add one of my own, blah, blah. Okay, and in the previous video we've discussed all about what these target categories are for. So you need to look at that. So I'm going to give it a number so that you see that when you create a new financial year, it will also bring over these target categories for you. Let's do that. Let's assume that I'm at the end of year 2012 and I'm now going to 2013. I would click this here, I would select 2013 and I would click select. What happens next is a pop-up box appears and it says, do you want to keep your existing expense categories and copy them over to the new financial year? If you're not sure, click help and it will talk about it. It will tell you what it's talking about. And I would say in 99.9% of cases, if not 100% of cases, of course you want to keep them. Of course, you've just spent a whole year getting your categories right. Why wouldn't you want the same categories for the new financial year? There may be that rare case you don't for whatever reason, but I would say most times you do. So you'd click yes, and the system is going to run away and do a few things. You'll see it says update, please wait, update in progress. It will go ahead and create all these for you. So just leave it go, it copies the information over, and once it's done that, it brings the business name screen back up. So once you see this screen back up, you know that it's finished. The categories are set up, so we're now in 2013. If I go to my expense screen, and if I was to do an entry here, you would see it has all the ones that I wanted. You'd see blah blah exists. It also exists in 2012, and it now has copied it over to 2013. So you don't have to recreate these again. And it also copied over the target categories. I keep doing that, don't I? It's also copied over the target categories for you as well. The target category numbers. That is the basics of switching between financial years. And if you want to see previous invoices from a previous financial year or previous quotes, if you're in a new financial year, you want to see previous financial year's quotes or invoices, you click the icon down here. So it allows you to record payments. You see it's on the quote screen as well. You can look at previous quotes that are outstanding from the previous financial year and that type of thing. It's to save you having to jump back to the previous financial year just to view them. Because for the first couple of months of the new financial year, you usually are jumping backwards and forwards anyway.